Alright guys, welcome back to the BulbaSquad. It's me, your host again, San, and so today we're going to be talking about Shiny Star V and a speculatory set list I decided to put together for you guys. So, for those of you that are not going to hang around for the full video and the full explanation, here's your list. You can, I actually forgot to start from the top. We got 127 spots for Shinies. However, if we use Hidden Fates as a reference, we can see that some of those spots, even though it includes them in the Shiny Vault, some of those spots are clearly not Shinies. So that's my rationale for taking away some spots. So this is your list. Anyone that doesn't want to stay for all that time and all my boring talking, you can just look at this list, and this is a speculatory one. Keep in mind, all of these, I'm including them also as if they have a V counterpart, so that's why they're worth 66, perhaps 68. You guys are welcome to pause at any point in the video, but I'm also going to keep switching back and forth just to explain my rationale for you guys. So, here we go. Essentially, I took a look at this and I realized, alright, from the Shiny Star V set we have so far, we see that VMAXs are going to have their own place, and if we go based off of, oh man, I actually don't have it pulled up. How unprofessional of me. So if we decide to go based off of based off of Champion's Path and what we saw here, regardless of how different it is, there's a Charizard V, so it shows that there will be V cards separate from the V Maxes. Using that, I assume that a lot of the V Maxes are also going to have V in their shiny form, and that's part of the reason why we have that ridiculous 127 shiny Pokemon as secret rares. And remember, I set aside 14 spots because 6, 12, 13, 14 of these were not shinies. And so what I decided to do is, as I went through the list of the Pokemon right here, I realized a lot of them, Toxtricity, Dragapult, Boltund, Rillaboom, Eternatus, Zacian, Zamazenta, the Ditto, the Doppel, a lot of them are the Galarian Pokemon. So, going based off of that, also, right here, we got Coughing, Oranguru, all these. It seems as though they're trying to focus on the Galar region Pokemon, while still including Pokemon that are popular from other gens in order to strengthen the base, because Sword and Shield wasn't received all that well. Going based off of that information, first and foremost I decided, you know what, there's actually not as many Dynamaxes as you would think. If we go back to my list right here, I have 66 down. That means that there's only 33 VMAXs in here. And when I really took a closer look at them, I realized a lot of those VMAXs are the Galar region Pokemon. So that was my other rationale for believing, alright, it's going to be very Galar focused with a little bit of the other regions to help support them. And so that's how I created this list. I believe the Blastoise, Venusaur, and Charizard are just shoo-ins. Charizard is most likely going to appear. He is definitely appearing in the set. It's already been revealed. And he came from a pre-constructed deck, and Venusaur and Blastoise are also in said pre-constructed decks. Also, sorry for the red lines, guys. I don't feel like shutting it on, off and on. Blastoise and Venusaur are also in said decks, so I think they're shoo-ins to also appear in this set. Then we got Butterfree, Centiskorch, Duraludon. Just all of these, to me, make sense when I look at it. Yeah, some of these are probably not going to be in the actual set, because this would be a ton of spots just for the VMAXs, but I realize it's not all that unreasonable, because if we look at it right here, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 40, just about 35 spots are being reserved for the Daddy Shinies. Right here, I have 33 spots reserved, but we have to keep in mind the regular Vs are also full art. So, yeah, I think there's going to be less of these overall, actually, than I have listed here. But I thought a majority of them are going to appear in the set that it makes sense to say. Oh yeah, for Frostmoth down here, I'm a little unsure as to this one because we already technically got a shiny Frostmoth in Rebel Clash in the gold card, because for those of you that didn't know, the gold cards are usually shinies. But we also got a shiny Oranguru and Volt Tackle slash Vivid Voltage. And yet, if we take a look-see right here, there he is. Oranguru is right here. So that just kind of throws that whole thing into whack, and I just worked with it. I assume Galarian Wheezing is in the set because, here, where is it? There we go. We got a Coughing right here. And with it being Galar orientated, it just makes sense. The Crobat, we already know of a shiny Crobat box. Ditto's the pack art, and then the rest of these are just kind of what we have already. Now for the V's. Going based off of the way Hidden Fates was, if we look at it, some of the baby shinies weren't in the actual set. We look at Rockruff, Sudowoodo, where's another one? Zorua, Magnemite, and Nitzline. There's just a couple Pokemon in here that just didn't have a daddy shiny form. There's Oranguru again. Why does Oranguru keep getting all these cards? I don't know of anyone who really loves that Pokemon. So, going based off of that, it seems that Celebi has a movie, or was supposed to have a movie that comes out this year, so that just seems like a given. Mew seemed really randomly thrown into the set, into other sets, so it feels as though maybe they threw him in to set up the ground so they can set up a shiny version of this set. So Rude, it's one of the legendaries given. Boltund, that was on the pack art. Zamazensa, Zacian, yeah, it'd be stupid if they're not in this set. Dubwool, it's in the Shiny Star V set already, so I expect a shiny version. And then Eldegoss. We decided to go with Eldegoss because, again, it's very Galar-orientated set is what I'm anticipating, so this would make sense. Then, obviously, we have to have these guys in here. Just because the dads are in here, so it makes sense that the babies are in here. Then, the 3 starters from this generation, I just expect them to be in the set. It would be stupid if they're not. And if they are, then, of course, their pre-evolved forms would be here. The Decidueye is already a given, Snom's already a given, so is Coughing, Oranguru, Rotom. Now, I predict Dragapult will be here, so I put in its 2 pre-evolved forms. If Boltoon's going to be in here, Yamper most likely is. If a Dubwool is going to be in here, then Wooloo is. And I saw there's a Galarian Zigzagoon and Linoon in the set already. So I anticipate we could very well see their shiny baby versions, even if we don't see the Galarian Obstagoon in a full art. He might be a baby shiny. We know Centiskorch is going to be a daddy shiny, so Sizzlipede makes sense. Pikachu, it's just, come on. Pikachu, it's already ready. Just reskin it. If you were to have Charizard Pikachu in the set, oh my god, that would make it explode. It's probably going to door him. It might even beat Hidden Fates at that point. Pichu, we know Toxtricity's in it, so I went with Toxel. Then because I predict that we're going to get, what's it called, Grimmsnarl, Impidimp, and Morgrim. I apologize if some of my writings are incorrect, because I wasn't bouncing back and forth in between all the names. I was just bouncing in between what the evolved forms were. Trust me, this took a while. The Roly-Poly Charcoal for the Colossal, Choodle for Dreadnought, Milcery for, what was it called, Alcremie? Yeah, Alcremie. I don't remember what Q font was, honestly. And Blipbug and Dottler. My girlfriend actually threw these in, but for those of you who are more familiar with them, she thinks these are going to come in because apparently I have their final evolved form somewhere in here. And so yeah, that's my speculatory set list. I compiled it just using all the VMAXs I saw, various cards that just seem to make sense and mesh with the dynamics. Like, I could have tried to throw Wobbuffet in there, but that just doesn't make sense when you could see something like Cramorant or Zacian V thrown in there, which is from the Galar region. So that was my style for approaching this. Essentially, just focus on the idea of the Galar region Pokemon being front and center to try and have all the spotlight, with a handful of other older Pokemon to try and power them up. We got like the Charizard, Dittos, Mo- and just whatever else, the original Kanto 3. And yeah, that's my personal expect list. I 100% expect for some of this to be wrong, but I expect a decent portion of this to be right on the mark. Granted, that's because I kind of have everything listed here. But when you really sit down and think about it, just everything kind of makes sense. Like Frostmoth is possible, honestly, because you can't expect the set to be a home run all the way through. Because if we look at this, we got Golisopod, Turtonator, Xurkitree, Banette, Nihilego, Nargonadale, Zygarde, Buzzwole, just all these weaker Pokemon. Like, come on, who's jumping up and down when they pull a Trampa? Whenever they know that there's like a Scizor, Espeon, or Mewtwo in the set, all right? No one's jumping up and down, calling home to their family because they pulled a Trampa. So it just stands to reason that they would include the weaker Pokemon in the set, just like Stonjourner. Regardless, I do 100% believe this set is going to be insane. I think I think it's going to be better than Hidden Fates simply because it has a Charizard and it very likely has a Pikachu. Those two right there, incredibly strong, and it's just going to propel the set further. So yeah, that's my list. Tell me what you guys think could fill up the last few spots I have down here. I think I have 2 left here. Yeah, I do. So just tell me what you guys think could fill up, which one of these you think is incorrect, and what could take their places. Or even if you don't think it's likely, just say whatever you would love to see in this set. It'd be nice to see people's opinions, because I think they're going to be slipping in some fan favorites in here. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.